What happens when a patient's airway is damaged beyond what surgery can repair? In cases of long segment tracheal defects, large portions of the airway need to be removed. But beyond a certain limit, reconnecting the trachea creates excessive tension, leading to serious complications. Current solutions like stents or transplantation exist, but they come with major drawbacks, including repeated interventions and lifelong immunosuppression. This is why conventional approaches fall short and why tissue engineering is being explored as an alternative.
The trachea is made up of C-shaped cartilage rings, smooth muscle, and mucosal lining. It needs to be rigid enough to stay open, yet flexible enough to handle swallowing and coughing, making it one of the hardest organs to replace.
The material we are going to use is polycaprolactam. It is widely used in the tracheal tissue engineering because it can be 3D printed into patient-specific tabular structures. It is also biocompatible, allowing stem cells to attach and grow without triggering an immune response. Additionally, it degrades slowly through hydrolysis into non-toxic byproducts, helping avoid the inflammatory complications seen with earlier synthetic materials.
The scaffold architecture matters as much as the material. A reticular porous design allows cells to infiltrate, multiply, and grow while maintaining compressive strength. Pore size, porosity percentage, and fiber diameter all directly affect how well cells attach and survive. Think of it like a 3D net. The geometry determines whether cells settle in or pass straight through.
So this is how we go from the scaffold to the living tissue. First, we'll harvest the mesenchymal stem cells from the patient's bone marrow. Then we seed these cells onto a porous scaffold where they grow in either a static culture or a bioreactor. And with the right signals like TGF-beta, these cells differentiate into specific types. This mainly chondrocytes that rebuild the cartilage structure and epithelial cells which form a protective airway lining and thus creating the functional living tissue.
Once the cells are seeded onto the scaffold, it is kept in vitro under controlled conditions before implantation. The bioreactor mimics the body environment, helping the cells get nutrients, grow, and start integrating with the scaffold.
Vascularization is one of the biggest challenges in tracheal transplantation. Unlike the native trachea, which has well-developed microvascular network, engineered grafts often lack immediate blood supply. This leads to issues like ischemia, tissue necrosis, and narrowing of the airway, especially in grafts longer than 6 cm. Without proper vascularization, cells cannot survive or regenerate effectively, delaying re-epithelialization and increasing the risk of graft failure.
The paper we studied highlights how modern designs tend to combine polymeric synthetic scaffolds with biological strategies to improve the outcome of the implant. For example, combining the scaffold with stem cells and vascularized tissue wraps, which promote integration and also survival after implantation, addressing both the need of mechanical strength and also blood supply.
Clinical data shows that 77% of patients remained in good health at 2.5 years, with a low hospital mortality of just 2.9%, which is significant for such a complex tracheal condition. This suggests that implant can provide a stable and functional airway support, although the outcomes are still limited by partial dependence on stents.
This diagram shows a simplified model of a tissue-engineered airway. The outer cylinder represents a synthetic scaffold, like a cardboard tube wrapped with a porous mesh that supports cell growth. Inside, the blue C-shaped rings mimic the tracheal cartilage, giving structure while leaving an open gap at the back, like the natural posterior membrane. The small orange patches represent seeded cells applied using sponge dabs, which spread and grow across the scaffold.